This is Tokyo Shemp with 5 minutes of mailed-in news. It's actually less than 5 minutes, but it'll never be more than 5 minutes.
Shaking like a leaf on the desert heat. His daddy's got a bag that's so hard to beat. I bought me a ticket, got a front row seat. I'm checking out the show with a glassy eye, looking at the sun dancing through the sky. Did he come by u.f.o?
Yeah. In 50 to 100 years, they'll be speaking of the Tokyo Shemp machine. They'll say McLuhan was greatness, but then 50 years later, his shtick was processed through Tokyo Shemp Studios, and somehow it became even more relevant, more greatness. YouTube took back the hate speech strike for my Uncle Charlie video. I'm back in YouTube's good graces, so this will be my venture back into YouTube land. There were 2 Jim Sullivan albums. I think there were 21 songs in total. I'm going to whittle that down to 10 tunes. These are his greatest hits. I'm not trying to establish big numbers. I will not copy and paste every tune. I'm not going to copy and paste all of the tunes. I'm just going to present from my least favorite to the most favorite of Jim Sullivan. So it'll be in that kind of order in which the songs should get better as we proceed. Probably ancient news at this point, but there was this guy called Casey Kasem, and he used to do top 40 type tunes shows. But it's a really difficult voice to impersonate. It's a little bit too high pitched. I do a little better if I could probably do that. I think there was a Canadian band, and they had this one tune, and he used to go, but I could probably do, I don't know, I'm kind of getting a little off topic. The problem with this video, putting this one together, is I had 13 tunes. Well, I'm jumping ahead. Basically, I get into a topic and I can never let go. I get fascinated. I become very focused. It happened with that Speedway Bomber dude. I don't know how or why no one else could come up with what I did. Years later, we now know the internet has been rigged, and that explains why my shtick never took off, or it only took off basically in backwater websites. And I actually did make a little bit of a dent into the zeitgeist. That was my 15 minutes of fame, but I'm still ticking. I took a licking and I kept on ticking. That's from the some type of the Rolex, some type of watch ad. Oh no, Timex. I've still got my brain working. It was Timex. Alright, so this is the problem. I might be lifting and copying from my own shtick over at my blog because I've already produced and created content on Jim Sullivan. So why work hard? Why be original when I can just steal from what I already did? I never understood how someone could plagiarize themselves. That's something that I do not believe is possible. Perhaps it's common sense to let people know that it's sort of a rerun. My problem is that I have 13 songs and I need to whittle it down to 10. I want a top 10 Jim Sullivan list. Top 13 doesn't sound right. I've got 5 tunes that I gave an A-. So I needed to pick 2 songs out of the 5. So we'll start with the runner-ups to the top 10 list. So I'm looking at, he had 2 albums. He had the u.f.o album, and there's a backstory to that with a band he hired called the Wrecking Crew. It was actually a famous group. That's what I mean. I get into a topic and it's like Thanksgiving. I'm like sucking out the marrow from turkey bones. Although I'm a vegetarian, so I don't know why I mentioned that for the analogy.